Hey guys, in this tutorial we'll learn about research features inside Loocey when it comes to DLA Dibbs. We'll show you the different options we have for finding RFQs, looking up the NSNs, and so on. So let's get started. So when you log into Loocey, the left bottom section here is where you'll find all the research tools and data associated with DLA Dibbs. The top section is your CRM, which is private to each user. All that data is kept for you, for your company only. The bottom section is the shared data, which is the data that comes to us from DLA Dibbs. This is where you find the potential RFQs you want to bid on. So let's kind of go through and find out what options we have here. I'm gonna go ahead and try to move this up a bit. So I'm gonna start from the bottom here. So we have FSC codes here. So if you're just getting started, you don't know what to bid on, you can come here. It'll kind of show you the FSC code along with the description. By the way, pretty soon, right now it looks pretty plain, but pretty soon we're gonna add additional features here, such as showing you FSC code specific annual maybe RFQ amounts and so on. So just look into this section depending on when you're watching this video. We may or may not have that data yet, but we are planning on adding more data when it comes to FSC codes, just to make your research easier so you can understand which FSC codes you want to focus on. So one level up is the award history, which I'll come back to, and then we have DLA companies. These are usually the approved source companies, and this data is being used across the app. I'll show you in different spots. And what's nice is that we have a research team that does manual research for all of the approved sources, which are basically your go-to place when initially bidding on stuff, to find out if open up an account with them, become basically their supplier. And we find the website and email address for you to contact. Again, this is our research is ongoing, so most of it is filled in. You may see some empty spots like this that we either did not find the data or we haven't really gotten to it yet. But we'll come back to companies. Approved parts is actually also a new one here. And I generally also go through this in our one-on-one trainings. By the way, if you do sign up for our beta, I do a one-on-one training with all of our beta users. So I'll schedule that when you sign up for beta. Again, this is for beta customers only. But approved parts here, basically this is another way to visualize the data, where we go off of the part number along with the NSN, and then we show you the approved cage code, approved cage code company name. Yeah, where this is helpful is that, as you know, if you're just getting started or you haven't DLA business already, when you usually finding and opening account with suppliers is the hard part, right? You have to kind of make sure before you even can bid on anything, you have to open accounts with suppliers and make sure they give you good terms. Now, what we discovered is the best way to fully utilize these relationships is by also understanding what other NSNs that same supplier provides. So you can basically, when you open an account with one supplier, you generally want to bid on maybe other NSNs that same supplier provides to DLA, so that you not keep opening new supplier accounts. You can just maximize we like to call it maximizing relationships with existing suppliers, right? So let's look at an example. Let's say you open an account with this Eden Corporation here. If you come here, if you take the cage code, I want to search by cage code. I want to say just search by cage code. I want to see what other NSNs available. Okay, so as you can see, the same supplier here, approved source company, also has listed all of these other NSNs that you can bid on, right? And this may not be a fully complete list. This is just what exists currently in our platform here, and we do daily imports. So this list keeps getting bigger as we find out more data about each supplier, right? So again, this is, I think, a good way to start your research. Is once you know which suppliers you want to target, you also want to come here and see what other products they offer to DLA, so that you can target those bids in finding those bids right in the solicitations section. So the next level up is the NSN parts, and this is just again, so far we haven't really gotten to the RFQs yet. This is just doing research initially on understanding which ones you want to bid on, right? So NSN parts has a few good things going for it. So first of all, when you click on one of these, it'll pop up. It'll show you the approved part approved source, which were those companies we're just looking at. And if you click on a cage code, it'll bring up the company. This goes back to our companies. Again, everything is linked here, so you can contact them, the phone number, email, and website, and so on, right? We also show you the related RFQs that this NSN has in the system, and then the history, which is the important part, right? If you look at the top section here, we give you the last unit price, the last award, right? The last quantity, and the date of the last award. If you look at it here, it's the same one. It's basically we pick the last one and we show you two in a quick view section, right? Without even going into history section. And you generally want to know this data, because most of the bids will probably, if the recent, like in this case, the last award was in July, which was like a few months ago, most likely if this NSN comes up again, the price will be pretty equivalent with the last unit price, right? So this kind of gives you an idea what to how much your bid should be, right? When it comes, if this last award was like 10 years ago, of course, then you're free to kind of adjust the price with inflation and so on. But if the last award was recent, then you generally want to probably follow the last price that it was awarded for. So I'm gonna close this. The other thing we have, so we have the FSC codes. We have a quick link to Dibbs. So if you click on this, you'll actually open up Dibbs for that specific NSN. It'll show you all the existing RFQs in Dibbs, inside Dibbs, right? So it's just a quick link to Dibbs. Now this next column here is really a crucial column, and I know some companies even charge you to do this research, even just getting you this data, right? What does this mean? Approved sources bidding. So what it means is that if any of the approved sources has won a contract within the last 24 months, we check this checkbox. Why is that important? Because generally speaking, if the approved source is bidding against you, right, is bidding with you, most likely probably they will win the contract, because they'll provide the lowest price, right? So in this case, if I were to open up this NSN, I would see that see, this is the approved source cage 249, and if we look at the last one who won 249, right? So you can see that this person or this company has won that contract. Most likely they will bid on this NSN again when it comes up. So if you have other options to bid on, we generally advise to bid on other stuff that doesn't have that kind of level of competition, right? Because if they compete with you, most likely they will win, because most likely they will always have the lowest price, right? Again, there's always exceptions, but this is just kind of a nice data point. We do all the data analysis to give you this data point, right? Let's look over. So the other stuff I kind of covered. We show you the last award date, last unit price, and so on. And we'll have more data coming for NSNs as well, but this is kind of a high level on the NSNs. And you can always search by column, search by multiple columns. You can add filtering and so on, right? Find, maybe you want to search by FSC codes, you can do that. If you want to search by, only show the NSNs that maybe approved source is not bidding, you can do that, right? You can say approved source equals 0 or false, meaning they're not bidding on it, and apply. Now it'll show you the list without the ones that are bidding, right? So now let's go over the RFQs. This is where you're gonna spend most of your time, because this is basically all the RFQs. We do a data pool of on a daily basis from Dibbs. So we bring in all the data, and we basically, it's not just the data import, we actually even go as far as parsing out the PDF. We pull out certain flags or data points from the PDF itself and show it to you, because, and I think we're the only ones in the market who does this. You might see generally some of the columns in other tools, but most likely at this level of in depth, no one else does it. So let's go over it. So NSN I already showed you. You could, again, same thing, you can click on a link, it'll pop up that same pop-up. So we have the FSC code here. When you mouse over, it'll show you what that means, right? And then we have a quick link to Dibbs for that specific solicitation. If you want to bid on something, let's say, it basically takes you directly to that solicitation. You can download the PDF, you can bid, and so on, right? And then we have quantity, we own the issue. We are planning on filling this in as well, so it's kind of the data is in front of you here. So we have the post-it date, return date, inspection point, FOB point, tech docs, right? If it has tech docs or not. JCP flag. So it's also, I think, really important column. If you don't have JCP certification, you probably want to filter out those that don't require that, right? So again, filtering works the same way. I've shown in another video how to use the filters, how to save your views. You can save your views after you set the filters and so on. But I'm gonna try to stay focused on the data we provide. You can always go back and watch that other filters video to see how the filters work, but it's pretty straightforward, right? Just like we did. Like if I wanted to say, hey, I don't want to see any tech doc ones, same thing, tech docs, 0 or false is the same. So then it's gonna, and I could do the same thing for JCP, for ISO, and so on, right? The line count is also an important one. This, I think no one else does this. We do this because we parse out the PDF. We know how many cleans exist in the PDF. So in most cases it's 1, but you do want to pay attention to this data because it's important. So if I were to open up this solicitation here, it'll show me the different claims that exist in the PDF in the contract. So again, it'll show you the line numbers, the purchase order number, quantity for each line, unit of issue, and so on. And then the quantity on top here, we combine of all the, it's a combination of all the claims. We show you set aside, kind of a quick view on the solicitation, right? By the way, set aside is probably number 1 column I get the most questions on, so I'll probably show that, how to filter for that. Let's go to it more. So we have some other flags, but the important flag is set aside flag. Now I know some businesses are, you know, women-owned or small business or veteran disabled businesses certifications, right? And this flag, we will pretty soon make it so that it's kind of a, you know, more like a tooltip or something that tells you what each flag means. But in the meantime, you can get that info from going to Dibbs because they provide this data. And then and I can probably put the link somewhere in this on the comments of this video, but if I were to go in here, let's see if I can find it. It's one of these help files here. Yeah, okay, it's this one here. So the different flags, again, we get this data, so they control the data in the flags. So if we look here, so if we want to search for SDVOSPs, that's service disabled veterans, the flag should be R, women owned is L, right? So let's say we want to search everything that's women owned and veteran owned. You could do that by simply coming here. So we have the tech docs. This time we're going to add a group search. So we can say tech docs and when set aside is, let's say, R, or we want to say or, either or, right? Set aside is, what did we decide? The L is for women owned. So in this case, basically say show me all the RFQs that don't have the in tech docs, right? And because I have and here, and they are either they're set aside for women owned or disabled women owned businesses or certified businesses, and I only want to see those RFQs. I can click on this now and it'll hopefully show me RFQs only. Yeah, like you see RL, so that's what that means. Now I can focus on bidding. By the way, everything you do here, you can always save your search, right? It's pretty easy. Save as, whatever you want to name it, right? When you save a view, it'll come up here. Show it here, and next time you come here again, you've saved it now, and all that settings you did to search will be saved, right? And anytime you make a change, you can save that again, right? So let's go down the list. Let's see what else exists here. So we mentioned, okay, cuts is also a really nice feature, because if you're just starting with the DLA, I think you'll see a lot of videos people covering and telling you to maybe focus on off-the-shelf items, commercial off-the-shelf items. That's because these are easier to get and sell. I think again, no one else has this flag. I think we are able to give you this data because, like I said, we have built a lot of engine and code in the back end to really go to each contract and tell us the different flags, right? And if I wanted to see any solicitation ones that have this commercial off-the-shelf item checked or flag checked, then I can maybe also add another filter. This time I want to do a global filter. I want to say, cuts is true. Let's see if they exist any that are basically set aside for women-owned or veteran-owned businesses. Yep, as you can see, we found some. The next level up is here. So page count. Again, we parse out the PDF. We'll show you the PDF page count. Most of the time it's in 20s, which is fine. But some people like to see this because if somehow you see like a big one, like 50 pages, it says something unusual. So that's how you can keep an eye on it. The other flags are, again, on that page, it kind of covers with different flags or what they mean. But let's see what else we have. So we also parse out the PDF and show you the packaging code, right? Whether it's the MIL standard or ASTM, which is the commercial packaging style. So we also show you that. So in case you want to focus on only ASTMs, you can do that by filtering, again, doing the same type of filtering, right? Let's say I wanted to see only ASTMs. This time, it's kind of, I guess, a little different filter, right? Packaging code. Maybe contains, right? On the contains. By the way, I haven't tried this, I think, or maybe, yeah, contain should work, I believe. So there you go. It's only gonna show me the ASTM ones. See, we kind of cut it down to 32 solicitations, and again, every day it updates, and we get the data. KUP. This is a newer column. It should be accurate for the most part, although I think it might have a bug we have to look into. But this shows you the unit that goes inside the container, right? Not the box. Those of you who have done any business with DLA would know. We also parse out and show you the contract officer's name, email, phone number. And like I said, you can also filter by those as well if you wanted to. And then we also have postal address, shipping address, and so on. That's kind of on a high level. That's all the data. But if you have watched our other demos, the best part of this entire system is that when you decide to bid on something, you basically select it, right? and then you can say copy to my board, and now it's gonna copy over all that data to your bidding board, right? That's kind of what's nice with Loocey. We have kind of only one solution where you basically do your research as well as bid management and supplier management. See, this is the new one. We basically copied over the data to your bidding board, and now you can start tracking your bid. You can start bidding on it. We have, again, different videos covering this. If you are interested, please go ahead and watch that. That kind of concludes, I guess, one other thing I want to show you is the DLA award history here. I think we didn't cover this, but just like the name, it's the same data. When you go to any NSN, if you pull up an NSN, there's a award history section like I was showing you before. This one didn't have it. Let's try this one. So this one has it. So it's the same data, except sometimes it makes sense to directly go to the award history to see if it's something you want to bid on, to kind of again, the whole thing with Loocey is we want to speed up your workflow as much as possible. So if you decide that, hey, I want to come here and search on different RFQs and kind of quickly see when the award date was and so on, without really spending time on opening up different dialogues, you can directly come here and do the searching in here, right? And now it kind of, by the way, you could make sure you select which column you want to search by, right? And I'll hopefully find you only, yeah, in a sense. Again, you could still do the multi-column search, but if it's a quick search with a single column, you can use this search option, right? That kind of concludes our video today. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below or just reach out to me directly. And check out the description section for any discount codes we might have going on. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are planning on releasing a lot more videos covering all the different sections in Loocey. Thanks for watching.